This video will go over the steps to complete your loan amortization sheet. So you'll want to open up the loan amortization sheet assigned to you, and you have the link to these notes, or they are in the notes that provided in your packet. So first off, I'm going to go over here to the purchase amount. So for my project car, I'm using a 2025 Chevrolet Traverse Z71. The purchase price of my vehicle is $54,450. Down payment, so remember your down payment should be any amount between 5 and 10% of the purchase price. So I'm going to go ahead and do a down payment of $5,000. Now, remember this information you submitted on your Google form, and it needs to match exactly to what was approved from your Google form. So I'm going to go over here, and in the amount of my loan, the amount of my loan is going to be, I'm going to use the formula H1 minus H2. So essentially, I am taking the purchase price and I'm subtracting the down payment. So again, purchase price is H1 minus H2, which is the down payment, to find the amount of my loan, the principal amount. Interest rate as a percentage. So I'm going to use 3.5% for my interest rate. Your interest rates should be significantly higher than this because the market right now is anywhere between 6 and 7%. And remember that you added 1% to that. All right, for the number of payments, the length of our loan in months, I'm going to do a 5-year loan, which is going to be 6 months, 60 months, a 5-year loan which is 60 months. All right, for the monthly payments, if you'll see in the notes, it says see below. And so that monthly payment part is right here, that's the below. It says we're going to use the formula, which is PMT, and we're going to type the following into the cell. So here's what we're going to look at typing. Okay, remember that in Excel, the equal sign is your best friend. So we're going to start with equals. Now we do need to put a negative in the front of this because when we use a formula, it populates as a negative answer because it's saying that you are owing this amount. So we're going to put a negative so that we're using a positive value. Okay, so just remember the negative. All right, we're going to say negative. We're going to type PMT. So PMT means that we're looking for a payment. And so when I select that, you'll see it kind of gives me a little bit of a guidance as to what I'm putting in each section. I can expand that to find out a little bit more details. But essentially, we need to find or put the rate. So for me, my rate is right here at 3.5%. So I'm going to go ahead and select that cell. So it puts in that automatically. So B2. Remember that the interest rate is an annual rate, and we need to calculate it on a monthly basis. So we're going to divide it by 12. We're going to hit comma, and then we are looking for the number of periods. So the number of periods is the number of payments that we're making, which is up here in B3. So we're going to go ahead and type in B3. And then comma to get my next variable. And the next variable we're looking for is the present value. And so we'll see down here the current value of the annuity. So that is our principal amount. So we are current value is 49 for my project car, $49,450. That's the amount of the loan that I'm looking for. So again, just to reiterate, our interest rate is for this example is at 3.5%. It is a 5-year loan, which is 60 payments. And remember, all the payments are going to be the same amount. And the loan is for $49,450. So I'm going to go ahead and close that off by putting the parentheses. And then I'll see that it calculates my monthly payment at $899.58. Okay. The reason why we want to use the formula in here and reference the cells is because this is something you can utilize in the future. Maybe you didn't get that interest rate right away, and maybe it's at 3.75%. or it changes to whatever. And so we can automatically have that adjust our monthly payment when we do that. So that is why we want to use a formula. Let me revert it back to the 3.5. All right, so that's our information. Now we got to get going with actually creating the sheet. So you'll see over here, I have inputted exactly what I've typed exactly what you're going to want to input into these cells over here. There is some information further down about why we're putting this information on there. So we're going to start with the remaining balance here. The remaining balance is for payment 0 is my initial amount of my loan, so B1. Underneath the payment number, we're going to go ahead and say equals. We're going to take the cell above, which is payment 0, and we're going to go ahead and add 1 to that. The principal amount is going to be, we're going to type in equals the $sign B $4. And what that is doing is it's saying that I'm going to use whatever value is in B4, but I'm using that value every single calculation. The $signs make it keep that cell as the reference, okay? So we're going to take the monthly payment, so $899.58, and then we're always going to be subtracting whatever interest is for that month, so minus D8 in this case. Okay, it's going to calculate and just show me my monthly payment right now because I haven't done an interest calculation. So for this interest in cell D8, we're going to type equals, and again, you'll see it right over here. We're going to say equals E7. So E7 is my prior balance, and we're going to multiply that by the interest rates. So in B2, but again, I need that interest rate to stay the same for every single cell. So I'm going to need to put $signs. So we're going to say E7 times $B $2. And that just means that as I drag this information down, it will always say B2 for that place. And then we're going to go ahead and divide it by 12 because again, the interest rate is an annual rate and we need to calculate it on a monthly basis. So you'll see that my interest is going to be $144.23, and you'll see that my principal amount is going to automatically adjust once I click off that. All right, so again, the of my $899.58 payment every single month, $755.35 is going to go to the principal, and $144.23 will go towards the interest for that first payment. Okay. All right, remaining balance on my account is going to be the previous balance, E7, minus the principal amount, C8, because only the principal decreases the amount remaining on your loan. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. All right, so on our notes, if you're following along, we're down here in this section right here. We're going to highlight the cells B8 through E8. That's these right here. So from payment number 1 to the remaining balance. And then we're going to go to the corner over here where that circle is. I don't want the hand. I don't want the arrow. I want the crosshair. And I'm going to click and drag. I'm only going to drag a couple because I want you to see in the formula, see how this says B4. Our B4 has that parentheses, and then this one says D9. So I'm using the next cell down. Okay, so that's why those the $signs are really important to make sure we have, because those always need a reference, the monthly payment here and the interest rate up here. Okay. All right. So again, I just wanted to show you that, but again, you're going to highlight your B8. So payment number 1 through E8. Okay, the remaining balance, and we're going to go ahead and click and drag, and we need to drag to however many payments we're making. So again, on mine, I'm making 60 payments. Currently, I'm at 24 payments. Remember, we're looking here for the payment number, not the reference row. So I need to drag down a little bit more until I get to 60. And one more. And when I drag that last one, I should see that my remaining balance is 0 and I am paid off. All right, so going up to the top here, total cost of the loan, total cost of the car, and the total interest paid. Remember that the equal sign is your best friend. Remember that the cost of the loan is the sum of the monthly payments. So the sum of the monthly payments, you can refer back to your notes on the very first lesson. We kind of wrote down what those guys were. The total cost of the loan, the sum of the monthly payments, is the monthly payment multiplied by the number of payments we are making. Okay. The total cost of the car, is the sum of the monthly, so the cost of the loan plus your down payment. So don't forget that the cost of the car includes that down payment. And the total interest paid, the amount of interest paid is the sum of the monthly payments. So our monthly payment times the number of months, or whatever the total cost of the loan is. Okay, so total interest is that total cost of the loan minus the amount of the loan, the principal amount. Okay, our cost of our loan and our total cost of our car, you should find is going to be more than whatever your loan amount is. So again, I'm not giving you what you're going to put in there because that's a big portion of making sure that you understand how sheets and how to calculate these goes. And so these will definitely be amounts that I am checking and verifying that those are correct for your grade on this assignment.